Picture this. You're at the dinner table, settling down for the day, and your child shares something that instantly triggers a harsh response from you. We've all been there, right? But what if I told you that some seemingly harmless words we say can leave deep marks on our children's minds, affecting their future more than we can imagine? Hi, and welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Dawny Mathew, consultant psychiatrist, and I am here to help you understand the 12 things you should never say to your child. Words that could unknowingly alter the course of their emotional and psychological development. Number 1. You have no reason to be upset. No one else feels that way. This kind of statement invalidates a child's feelings, essentially telling them that their emotional responses are incorrect or inappropriate. It undermines their ability to trust their own emotions and can lead to difficulties in processing and expressing feelings in the future. Instead, you should acknowledge and validate their feelings without necessarily agreeing with them. You could say, "I can see you are really upset about this. Can you tell me more about what's bothering you?" This approach promotes emotional intelligence and open communication. Number 2. After an event, you tell them, "That's not what happened." This is a form of psychological manipulation where a child's memory or perception is challenged, making them doubt their own experiences. This can be damaging to their sense of reality and self-trust. Alternatively, you can respect and acknowledge their perspective, even if it is different from yours. You can engage them in a conversation to understand their viewpoint better, saying something like, "That's interesting. I saw it differently. Can you explain more about how you saw it?" This encourages open dialogue and mutual respect. Number 3. You are so dramatic. Labeling a child as dramatic or other character-based terms when they express their feelings can make them feel ashamed for showing their emotions. It may lead to them suppressing their feelings in the future or feeling that their emotions are not valid or worthy of attention. Instead of labeling the child, address the behavior or the situation. For instance, you can say, "It seems like this situation is really upsetting you. Let's talk about this." This approach validates their emotions while also opening a path for discussion and problem solving. Number 4. Well, life's not fair. While this statement may be intended to teach resilience to your child, it can be perceived as dismissive and unempathetic, leaving the child feeling unsupported and misunderstood. It may instill a sense of hopelessness. Alternatively, you can acknowledge the challenging situation while encouraging the problem solving. For example, you can say, "This feels really unfair and sometimes things don't go the way we want. Let's think about how we can handle this." This teaches children that while life can be challenging, they have the ability to respond constructively. Number 5. Why can't you be more like your sister or brother? This statement pits siblings against each other and can create feelings of inadequacy and jealousy. It can lead to damaged sense of self-worth as the child perceives that they are not good enough as they are. Do not show favoritism between your children. Alternatively, you can celebrate each child's individual strengths and achievements. Instead of making comparisons, focus on the specific areas where each child excels or needs support. For example, you can say, "I've noticed you've been really working hard on your math homework, and that's great. How can I support you in this?" This approach acknowledges their efforts and encourages personal growth without comparison. Number 6. Stop crying. There is no reason to cry. Telling a child to stop crying dismisses their emotions and may teach them that expressing sadness or frustration is not acceptable. This can hinder their emotional development and ability to cope with negative feelings. Instead, you can allow them to express their emotions and offer support, saying something like, "I see you are upset and it's okay to cry. Do you want to talk about what's making you sad?" This validates their feelings and provides a safe space for emotional expression. Number 7. "I am disappointed in you." This phrase can be especially hurtful because it implies a failure to meet expectations on a personal level rather than focusing on a specific behavior or action. It can lead to feelings of shame and a decreased sense of self-worth. Instead, focus on the specific behavior that was disappointing rather than making a blanket statement about the child. For instance, you can say, "I was really hoping you would have done your homework today as agreed. Let's talk about what happened." This helps the child understand the impact of their actions and fosters responsibility. Number 8. You are not good enough. This statement directly attacks a child's self-esteem and can increase their inadequacy. It can lead to a fear of trying new things and a lack of confidence in their abilities. What you should do instead is encourage their efforts regardless of the outcome. Instead of focusing on what they didn't achieve, acknowledge their progress. For example, you could say, "I saw how hard you worked on that project and I'm proud of the effort you put in. What did you learn from this experience?" This approach encourages a growth mindset. Number 9. You are too fat, ugly, or stupid. Criticizing a child's appearance or intelligence is deeply damaging. It can lead to long-term self-esteem and body image issues and affect their sense of self-worth and identity. In place of that, focus on positive attributes and health rather than appearance or innate ability. Encourage healthy habits for their own sake, not for their appearance. For example, instead of commenting on their weight, encourage activities for health and enjoyment. Reinforce their worth beyond the physical appearance or academic performance. Number 10. I wish you were never born. This statement can cause significant emotional distress and trauma to the child. It conveys a sense of regret or rejection. This can deeply affect a child's sense of belonging. Note that in moments of frustration, it's important to step back and address your own emotions. If such a thought ever crosses your mind, it's crucial to seek professional help or support for yourself and not the child, and to deal with these feelings. It's important to reassure the child. Number 11. You are a slut. Using sexually derogatory language in response to a child's behavior can severely damage a child's self-esteem, self-image, and trust. It can contribute to a distorted view of sexuality and relationships. It can also be psychologically traumatizing. It may even increase the undesirable sexual behaviors in the child. Instead, you can address behavior concerns in a respectful and constructive manner. If you're concerned about the child's sexual behavior or decisions, approach the conversation with care, focusing on safety, consent, and self-respect rather than judgment. For example, initiate open discussions about healthy relationships and boundaries. Number 12. Your friend never does that, or your classmate is so much better at school than you. This kind of comparison can create feelings of inferiority and resentment, both towards the parent and also the person they are being compared to. It can also damage friendships and peer relationships. Avoid comparisons and instead address the child's behavior individually. If discussing behavior, focus on the specific actions you would like to see, such as, "I notice you've been having a hard time with your school grades lately. Let's talk about how we can work on this together." This approach respects the individuality of each child and avoids harmful comparisons. Today, we explored 12 things that we as parents should avoid saying to our kids. As we come to the end of this video, I want you to leave you with this thought. The words we speak to our children echo in their hearts and minds. By fostering an environment of positive communication, we are not just raising children, we are nurturing future leaders, thinkers, and compassionate individuals. So, dear parents, let's choose our words wisely, apologize when we falter, and strive every day to be the positive voice in our children's lives that they will remember and thank us for years to come. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this video insightful, please subscribe for more content that helps us navigate the beautiful yet challenging journey of parenthood. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. Share the phrases you use to encourage and empower your children. Until next time, keep nurturing with love, patience, and the right words. Take care and happy parenting.